Hi, my name is Joshua Doyle. I teach second grade at Kaywood Elementary, and I've decided today that I want to talk to you a little bit about how I teach my polygons every year. I've taught third and fourth grade math for about 5 years, and this past year I switched to second grade, and next year I'll be teaching a little bit of a mixture of kindergarten through fifth grade. And I plan on doing a lot of math during that time. But one of the ways that I learned to teach polygons is by using food to teach, because we all know that kids love food. And when I'm able to use food, the kids just seem to understand it a little better. So what I did was I decided to use pretzel sticks to teach polygons. And I'm going to turn the camera around and let you look. So I use these pretzel sticks to teach polygons every year, and it's a cheap little thing. A whole bag will teach the whole class. It'll be used for the whole class. And so what I do is I use the pretzel sticks, and of course I've got to open these pretzel sticks up. And what I do is I give each individual I just give them a handful. I mean, I don't really count them or anything like that, but I give them a handful. Now, a little helpful tip before you hand out the pretzel sticks is please make sure that you clean the tables with hand sanitizer, or not hand sanitizer, but you clean the tables with Clorox wipes or whatever, and let it rest for a few minutes before giving them the pretzel sticks. But what I do is I try to use pretzel sticks to teach it, because it's so easy to make the different types of polygons using the pretzel sticks. And it's very clear whenever you use the pretzel sticks how many sides each polygon has, because all you have to do is count the pretzels. And so that's one of the ways that I teach. You could use anything really. I mean, I know there's potato chips that are straight and that kind of look like these pretzel sticks. My little boy, he's 2, and he likes to use French fries to make different polygons. He'll make a triangle and a square and things of that nature with French fries, and that's kind of where I got the idea from, was watching my little boy. And so what I do is I try to incorporate these pretzel sticks to teach this lesson, because I can clearly see that this has 3 sides because there's 3 pretzels. And then another thing that I try my best to always incorporate is a real life experience for them. And so what I do is I try to make it funny. And I try to tell them that it's like I'm trying to capture my little boy or my little girl in a fence. And that if I put my little girl, and if I could break one of these sticks up, and if I put my little girl or my little boy in the middle of that polygon, the only way that it can be a polygon is if my little girl could not escape from the polygon. And so, as you can see, with this polygon, if this was my little girl, there's no way she could escape because there's no openings. It's a closed figure with straight sides because it's made out of pretzel sticks, and it's closed in. Now, triangles are not obviously the only thing that you can make, but you can make any type of polygon. And it's fun because they have to figure out how to make these polygons. And so I can make quadrilaterals with 4 sides and do my little test and say, well, can my little girl escape? No, she can't. So yes, it is a polygon. I can do pentagons, which would be 5 sides. And one of the things that kids always realize, I always try to get them to give me some real life examples as I'm teaching the lesson. And one of the things that they always realize is that, hey, I can make a house and it looks like a pentagon. And now, how do we know that it's a pentagon? Well, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We say there's 5 sides. And so that must be a pentagon. Now, another thing that I always try to pull up, and I try to bring in other subjects, is I always show them the pentagon, because little boys love the Army. And the neat thing about the pentagon is that it has 5 sides, of course, but it's also represents that there's 5 branches of the military. And so that's a way that I get them to be able to remember what a pentagon is by the fact that there is 5 branches of the military. And the little boys, they can remember that real well. Triangle, kids pretty much know that already. And if they don't, I make them think of tricycles and things of that nature. Now, the hexagon is always one that kids kind of struggle with making. But the hexagon, I'm going to make one real quick for you. The hexagon, I always try to emphasize the X in hexagon to make them relate the X in hexagon to the X in 6. So I make sure I say hex 6, hex 6. And I do that repetitively to make sure that they relate the two together. And so that is how I do hexagons. And you can do this with any type of polygon that is out there. You can do it with triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, hexagons, octagons, decagons, dodecagons. I mean, the list goes on. You can do this. And the kids really understand it, and every year they seem to really respond to me using these pretzel sticks. And I've done it for about 3 years in a row now, and they've really enjoyed it, and they've really just understood it very well. This past year, I actually even flipped my tables over and showed them like that was a playpen, and I put one of the kids in there and said, "Can you escape?" to help them to realize that polygons have to be closed in, and they have to be made out of straight line segments. Now, after I teach the lesson, I always have a scavenger hunt for the kids, because I believe that when they can take what they learn and relate it to their real life, that they will understand it better, they'll connect better. And so what I do is I give them this paper. And as you can see, I put the type of polygon at the top, and then underneath it is 4 different polygons. Now, this is the one I used for 2nd grade last year. You can use different ones for 3rd and 4th, but this is the one I used for 2nd grade. And so what I do is I make them list how many sides. Now, the older kids, a lot of times I make them list how many angles as well, or how many vertices. I didn't make the 2nd grade this past year, but you list how many sides, and then they have to give me 2 examples in the real world of these type of polygons. Now, how do I do this? Is I take them outside to the playground. And the playground has a lot of polygons that they can look at and they can see. Right now, I am actually inside of my church's fellowship hall. And a good example of this is I can see a quadrilateral on the wall. I can see a quadrilateral on the wall, and I can actually see a quadrilateral inside of that quadrilateral. You know, everywhere I look, I see different angles or different polygons. And then when I step outside, it's dark right now, but if I stepped outside and I looked at a house, I would be able to see pentagons, I'd be able to see hexagons, I'd be able to see octagons. And so that is one of the things I do, is I take them on a scavenger hunt